Well, welcome back and good afternoon to you. I'm going to take you back a little bit in time here to 6 a.m., give you a view of what we started out with. It was a beautiful day, believe it or not, as we started out. The early morning was a bit chilly, though. Temperatures were from 22 to at least 37 degrees. In fact, yeah, it was a little chilly out there. In fact, some temperatures were about 27 degrees cooler than they had been 24 hours ago. That being said, we have still the drought still working in the area. You're looking at moderate drought in that lighter tan color here. That's a severe drought down to the south by Prairie du Chien. That also is in the northeast. We're also seeing, at least as we have this now, that abnormally dry conditions have moved up more to the north by Eau Claire. That being said, with the winds that are going to be picking up not only today, but tomorrow and then coming back for most of the week, we could be back in fire danger despite having more rain chances popping into the picture. In fact, you can see right now there is a little light rainfall headed towards Ladysmith, kind of fluctuating back and forth up to the north of them or not. We'll go right into the current dew points. Man, we are dry as a bone. We get into it here, we get into the temperatures. You're looking at some 50s and some 60s already mixing into the forecast for you. Let's take a look here coming out of Canada over the last 12 hours. We're still been seeing some rainfall kind of popping into the picture as well as coming off the Pacific Ocean. It gets a little bit closer with winds coming out of the south, and as this all connects, well, it's going to bring in that rainfall potential for us with a little bit of small hail, some scattered showers, some storm activity as well, maybe a few stronger storms once we get deeper into the evening and overnight hours. Possibly as that happens, we'll see it come into the picture here. You'll see the clouds on the increase. We'll get into mostly cloudy skies to cloudy conditions. It's 4 o'clock. We're looking at temperatures widespread in the 60s for you. And then once we get into the 7 o'clock hour, well, that rainfall starts to cross the Mississippi, gets a little bit closer from Red Wing all the way up to Eau Claire, Ladysmith. La Crosse is in that mix with the lighter stuff down to the south here of I-90. Eventually, the back of that starts to work into the 10 o'clock hour. So between 8, 9, 10, and 11, that's our strongest rainfall. As I mentioned, it's a 4% chance all the way up to, I should say a 40% chance all the way up to an 80 to 90% chance. And then by the midnight hour, it starts to break down on us. It gets out of the way, tracks a little bit more to the east. Those winds are still out of the south, some of it coming in, circulating with an area of low pressure up to the north and bringing that kind of back the opposite direction. It gets out of the way by 1 o'clock. We're pretty much cleared and done. And then we get into breezy conditions coming back for tomorrow. That being said, here's a look at the rainfall, maybe a half an inch or so possible, up to maybe 3/4 of an inch down to the southern portions. But for right now, it's also looking a little bit more bleak as it's backing off a bit. Let's go to the winds as I showed you before. We'll go to it. The winds get up to at least 18 to 23 miles per hour plus. Then we take a break. It comes back as we go into the 11 o'clock hour, similar to what we had today. And it begins to pick up, and even more so with maybe a few miles per hour, a little bit stronger. That being said, today we're looking at those widespread 60s you can see from all the way from the north down to the south. You'll get into tomorrow, though, with temperatures getting much cooler, upper 50s to the low 60s. Yikes, right? So another cool night. Eventually, we'll start to warm you up as we get past Sunday with temperatures returning back into at least I'll say the 70s widespread. We'll make it sound like that. Then we go into today. We'll go 67 degrees with 60 as we go into the next day. Into the weekend we go with temperatures holding on to upper 50s. Look at those morning temperatures, 30s for us here locally. And then eventually we start to warm you up as we have those 70s returning back to you.
So it sounds like we're going to have some good rain, our first good rain in a while.
100% right.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Art.
Sure.